Good morning and welcome. Let me just get rid of this. I know you can't see it, but it was in my face and I could see it. Good morning. Welcome. My name is Michele and I'm an independent demonstrator here in New South Wales, Australia. That's where I am in Australia. Sorry, it's just been a bit of a funny old day today. Our temperature has dropped drastically compared to what it's been in the last few days. It's quite windy. It's quite cool outside. We had a lot of rain last night. And I'm feeling a little bit bleary-eyed still. But anyway, this is just a quick jump on just to share something with you. So let me just say first, please jump on, say hello, let me know where you're from if this is the first time you've been on here. Excuse me. It's always great saying hello to new people. But as I said, this is only just a very, very quick live just to share a technique with you I thought you might find helpful. Hi, Judy. Welcome. It's great to have you here. I think it's the first time you've been on here with me. So let me turn my camera down. Won't be 1 second. And let's just get started because, as I said, this is just a very, very quick 5 to 10 minute video. So last week, what I showed you is how I use my blending brushes to achieve an effect like this. So I had already prepped this with some embossed leaves and that from the Joy of Noel stamps, and I embossed that in white embossing powder. And then I showed you how I use my blending brushes. Hi, Leah. How are you? Thanks for joining us today. So what I've done during the week is I've mounted this onto a piece of Misty Moonlight cardstock. I've added a little piece of ribbon. The ribbon came from the Merry and Bright collection, I think it is. The Merry Bold and Bright Sweet collection. So it's just a nice piece of shimmery ribbon, really. It's really lovely. I'm going to create my card base from a piece of boho blue, so I've got that ready to go. But I was thinking about a sentiment. What am I going to use for sentiment? Well, I'm going to use the Joy of Noel stamp set, and I'm going to use the Noel as my stamps, but I wanted something that had a little bit of a sheen to it. I didn't want to have it so matte, but I didn't want to do it because all our embossing powders, we've got white and we've got black and we've got clear, we've got silver, gold, but we don't have any colours. Now, there's a little trick that was taught to me a few years back by a lovely friend of mine, and I thought today what I'd do is I'd share that trick. So how we can use the colours of our inks to create an embossed look without having embossing powders in those colours. So what I've got to do I've got my clear embossing powder, I've got my Versamark, I've got my stamp, of course, on my block ready to go, and I've chosen Misty Moonlight is going to be my colour I want to use for my sentiment. So I've got a piece of white card back. Sorry about that. We've just lost my camera downwards. So let me just, it'll take me just a couple of minutes. So let me bring this back. Let me have a look. Always when you do a live, something like this happens. So I hope you can still all hear me. Okay, here we go. Just have to get this set up again, sorry. I hope you're all having better weather than what we are here in the Southern Highlands. That's Australia. Here we go. We've got my camera back up. So let me just set this back up. Sorry. Okay. Let me bring that one up. We're back. Lovely up here on the Gold Coast. Yeah, we've had, oh, look, I mean, Victoria has had bushfires and now they've got floods. all in within a few days. The fires to the north of Sydney, I heard the other day, there was fires down this way on the south of Sydney. And then yesterday, so much rain. I mean, the good thing about all this rain, and hopefully it has put out all those fires, but it's like we're not quite got to summer. We're still in spring, and everything is hitting us all at once. Anyway, where I was at, I could very, very easily stamp my sentiment. I hope I can hear myself back a little bit, but I'm hoping you can't. I could stamp my sentiment on a piece of coloured cardstock, and that would be, and cut it out, and happy it's in the colour I want. But what I want to do with this is I want to keep my white base. Okay, so even if I stamp this in a colour, I still have to. I still won't have the sheen on it, okay, if I just stamped it in the plain ink, but I'd have the white outline around the outside edge. That's what I'm trying to get at. But this is a way of getting an embossed look, so you still have a sheen, but we're using your coloured ink. So I've already got my stamp set up. I am going to grab a foam mat and pop underneath here, because it is a photopolymer stamp. Let me just move some of this out of the road. So we're not going to finish creating this card today. I'm just showing you this one technique. So I've got my stamp all set up on my block. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start with my Versamark. I'm going to pop my Versamark first off onto my stamp. Give it a really good coating. Pop that out of the road. I'm then going to take my colour and I'm going to add my colour on my stamp. So I'm actually making a layer. So I've got my stamp, and then I've layered Versamark on top, and now I've layered my coloured ink. So once you've got that all inked up and you're happy with that, you can then stamp that onto your cardstock, onto your basic white. Now, of course, you can also do this on your cream. So that's it. So basically what I've done is I've now flipped it, and really my Versamark is now on top, okay? Because I've put my ink down first, and then my Versamark, well, on my stamp, I've gone Versamark ink, but when it's gone down, my ink is on the paper, my Versamark is on the top. Now, that's the only way I can explain how this actually all happens. But we've got our Versamark there. What we're going to do is we're going to use some clear embossing powder, pop that over the top. I should have my tray handy, but I don't. I've just got a bit of scrap paper here. Make sure that's well and truly covered. Now, of course, if you aren't using our Stampin' Up! Ink, some inks stay wetter a little bit longer, and of course you can forgo the Versamark and put the clear embossing powder straight over the top of some inks, but that doesn't always work. It only works with an ink that retains the moisture to be able to hold that powder, because that powder is just sitting on top. It's just a layer. So now what we have to do is we have to actually melt that powder so it adheres to our cardstock. So I've got my heat gun here. Now I'm going to make a little bit of a noise, so just bear with me. Just turn it up a bit more. And let's wait for the magic. And you can see at the moment it's got dull, but as it heats up, it will go shiny. Let me just remove that out of the road. Now, what we've got there is using one of our Stampin' Up! Inks, and we've got an embossed So that's how you can use any of our Stamping Up inks to create, can't even get my words out, to create a embossed look. So I'm just now going to die cut that out. And I probably could have lined it up a bit better. I might redo this again a little bit later on. But I think you all can get the gist, and that is going to go. Might have to move that over a bit more. I will play with these at a later date to get them sitting exactly where I want them. But that will end up looking something a little bit like that. Yeah, you can do it, Lee, without the Versamark, but you have to be actually quite quick, because once your ink starts to dry, your Versamark, your powder won't actually adhere to your ink. So you've got to work quite quickly. That's what I was saying before. It doesn't. There are some brand inks out there that you can work quicker with, and can't for the life of me think of it now. What type it is. I think it's more of a pigment ink. Just doesn't dry as quick, so it allows you that little bit of time to put the powder on. This is just a way of using our Stamping Up inks, which can dry very, very quickly, especially if you've got warmer weather, which is what we're going to be heading into. By putting the Versamark on there and using it with the ink, it gives you that little bit extra time to be able to add your powder to it. So it's just another tip and trick that may work for you. So give it a try. I'm going to play with this a bit more because I'm not happy with the way I've cut them out. But that's just me. I'm a little bit fussy like that. So I hope you've enjoyed this little bit of an idea today. As I said before, it was something a friend of mine showed me a few years back, and I just thought it was just a really great way and another use of your Versamark and your embossing powders, particularly if you wanted a colour that we don't have in our powders. So have a great day. I've got to get back to my sewing, and I will catch you all at a later time. Thanks for now. Bye.